Podcast. I'm Mark Storrs, and with me, as always, is... Whoa.
Whoa.
Wow. And...
Hold down.
That was weird.
Rob Morphy.
All right.
Why did I
Thank
do
you
that?
for joining us. Yeah, Chris, everything good?
You know what?
Was it that whiskey?
No.
Did it get you?
No, you were really excited, so I was like,
Oh, okay.
First off,
All right.
I know,
God
right?
bless you, Addie.
Thank you so
Oh,
much.
yeah.
Bless you.
Things happened.
It is
We got a
the
package.
smoothest,
Things were drank.
tastiest.
It is. It's
And
nice.
I'm an old school aficionado, as is Chris. Mark,
Yeah.
not so much. He was asking, he literally, how does one drink whiskey?
Yeah.
I don't really
He
drink
literally
whiskey.
asked, how
In
do you
what
drink
way does
whiskey?
one
I'm
take-
like,
do you use your mouth?
I do shots, but I mean, aren't you supposed to like mix it with like I don't know, like seltzer water or something?
You
or
don't
soda?
know, not
Or
necessarily. You
over
can.
ice? I don't know.
Yeah, you
A
can
good
have it on the
whiskey,
rocks. You can have it neat.
you should
not
drink
really.
neat, I
Ginger.
think.
Not a
I
big
prefer
whiskey guy.
neat too.
Yeah.
I don't like whiskey and water. I find that to be a betrayal.
That is a betrayal.
That's
Okay.
a lie. At least have it on ice and it becomes water, and you can, I don't know, say something cool like on the rocks or something. But anyway, Addie, you fucking rule the pit.
Thank you so
It
much.
is absotronically brilliant, and it goes down so smooth that it feels like you're getting a roundhouse from Chuck Norris, and then it's like a gentle kiss on the cheek.
Not even.
It's almost disturbing because you're just waiting for that fucking gut punch.
I got nervous. I'm
It's like the cotton candy of whiskey.
Yeah.
It was pretty smooth. I mean, all I ever do with whiskey is shots. So for a shot, yeah, it was good.
And
I
I'm
liked
not
it.
saying
It
I've
was
done
excellent.
3 shots.
No, it's still a good
No,
sipper.
I'm saying that you've
but-
done 3 shots, and I told Eddie that with this package that was delivered that you might have an issue with whiskey. So we're keeping our
have
eyes
a-
on you.
I have a huge issue with whiskey, and that issue is I fucking love
I
whiskey.
exactly,
know.
but whiskey does not love you.
Oh, that's not true. That is absolutely
No, this
not
is
true.
excellent
100%
sipping whiskey,
true.
though. It's
100%
excellent
true.
sipping whiskey.
That, pshaw, sir.
Whiskey
bourbon.
says, Rob,
Bourbon.
I don't like you.
You have seen
and then
me.
you say whiskey.
You have
I
seen
like
me
Rob.
at my best on whiskey, and occasionally
You have
in some dark spots.
maybe stopped plenty of a pod with a little too much of the whiskey, but that's okay because we got our eye on you, and you look like you're doing good.
Wow.
So
Jeez,
thank
all right.
you for your reviews and your
Lord.
ratings of this show on the iTunes and the Apple Podcast apps. We're trying something different. So we ask you guys to send us reviews, again, on the iTunes. So we got inundated with a ton of them.
Mm-hmm.
So we're kind of overloaded. So instead of doing them in the beginning of the show, we're going to do them in the end of the show. That way, the reviews, end of the show, we can get right into what we're doing, and we're not getting really bogged down by doing like 3 or 4,
It just
reviews.
makes sense.
Yeah, because there's quite a bit to go through.
I don't love huge preambles a lot of times.
Yeah,
So
no,
if I'm, and I know I don't listen to a ton of podcasts, but when I listen to a podcast, I kind of want to get to the meat. I want
Yeah.
to get to the
The
goods.
meat.
Totally. So,
Chicken.
if you've sent in any reviews and we haven't done them, let me know. We'll catch them up. And again, all the reviews will be at the end of the podcast after the outro music. That way, if you don't want to listen to them, you don't have to. If you want to hear us talk about your review, it'll be there. Boom. Everyone's happy. Follow us on the social media.
Jeez.
Do it,
Instagram,
please.
Twitter.
No, really, do it.
Really?
I just had to be like
You were-
non-committal about one
Yeah,
thing.
contrarian.
Okay,
Yeah.
Facebook. You can go, Facebook.
Listen, we all have a beef with
All right,
Facebook.
fine. All right. So be sure to follow us on the social medias. And this week, we got something kind of interesting.
Little fun thing,
A little bit of outer space, possibly.
possibly.
We're talking
Space.
about the Cycloptic aliens of Harrah.
Yes.
Hurrah.
Hurrah!
In 1977, a young man from Washington State had a run-in with a quartet of handy-capable creatures that may well be some of the strangest extraterrestrial beings ever reported.
And that's saying something. Because there's some weird-ass, freaky, motherfudging aliens out there.
But these are the ones. They're
you know,
gonna set the
this is
bar.
this is one that any aficionado of extraterrestrial encounters has seen this picture of intermittently and has gone, the fuck? Seriously, what the figgity fudge is happening here? I was amongst them. So
All right.
years ago, I put this article together and I thought, it's time to dust this off
All
and
right.
make it happen for reals.
Let's do it.
Located in the county of Yakima, Harrah is a tiny town in the center of Washington state with a current population, current being about 10 years ago when I wrote the article, of about 600 citizens. While
Wow.
Yakima is generally thought of as Bigfoot country, and with good reason. I mean,
Yeah.
it's thick in the Pacific Northwest. In the winter of 1977, it became the site of one of the most bizarre alien encounters ever fucking recorded.
fucking recorded.
Fucking recorded.
That's where the whiskey comes in.
Oh, all right. So F-bombs happen. The whiskey's there. On the morning of January 19th, 1977, 9-year-old Jose Cantu woke up just before 6:30 a.m. and decided, with a burst of selflessness rarely seen in young children, to let his mother sleep in and make himself breakfast.
Don't trust a 9-year-old to make breakfast.
No,
unless
well,
it's
not
cereal.
Yeah, I guess don't
That's
let him
it.
use a fucking waffle iron.
Yeah, or a stove or anything with fire.
Or
Microwave?
any element.
Yeah,
Any
exactly.
element.
I wouldn't
Oh
even
my
trust
God.
him with a fucking toaster.
I don't trust you with air,
No.
water,
You
fire.
wake up and the kid's sticking shit in a toaster.
Oh, yeah,
and
no,
next thing you
it
know-
never fails. Oh, yeah, Earth.
Stay away from the earth element.
Oh, no.
Okay.
Jesus.
As he was preparing his meal, he glanced out the window. That's how all these things start.
Oh, boy.
And saw what he would later describe as a little man outside in the yard of his family's farmhouse. Jose rushed to his parents' bedroom and shook his mother, Martha Cantu,
Martha.
in an
son of a
attempt to
bitch.
wake her. Martha was alone in the bed as her husband had already left for work, and when her son burst into the room like a mini cyclone, it was all she could do to keep her temper. Her son beseeched her to follow him and take a look at the strange figures, quote-unquote, standing in their yard, but Martha, who was exhausted from a sleepless night of caring for Jose's fussy infant sibling, refused to follow him. It would be a decision that she would come to regret.
Oh, no.
Undaunted, Jose decided to go outside and take a look for himself. You got to give this kid mad props for moxie.
I mean,
He's
at
got the
9 years
moxie.
old, there's definitely a level of bravery there.
Well,
Totally.
it's but it's also sort of a lack of self-awareness. Like at this point,
It's true.
your curiosity is going to usurp any sense of mortality you probably have. At 9, you're not thinking that life gets to end. You're just like,
I
this
mean,
is some
hopefully not,
crazy
unless you're
shit.
some weird dark kid.
Yeah,
Wasn't
no,
that you? Isn't that what you at 9? You weren't you like staring in mirrors trying to find the real Rob or something?
Yeah, and I was
Okay.
looking at airplanes, praying that they weren't missiles coming into nuke us.
Okay.
But then again, I was a
Well-
broken child who became
a broken man.
a well-heeled cryptozoologist. Thank you very much. I was trying to make this a salvation story, and you just flipped it.
Yeah, way to go. Well,
Yeah.
see you next week, I guess.
I'm pretty broken, but that's not the goddamn
All
point.
right,
Let's hit the
continue,
whiskey.
Robert.
Get to the goddamn point, Egg. All right. We know Jose was undaunted. That's established.
Well,
and what he saw are some of the craziest alleged alien critters on the books.
Bucks.
The books.
All right.
Fucking A.
Jose claimed that as soon as he stepped into the yard, he saw a pair of greenish creatures that were approximately 3 feet tall and moving about in his backyard. As unique as their pigmentation and height might be, they would not prove to be their weirdest attributes. The next thing the youngster noticed about these odd creatures was the fact that their legs appeared to be small and atrophied, almost vestigial, and to the child's eyes, nearly non-existent. Now, I'm going to state for the record,
Oh my God,
he
what?
did not use the phrases vestigial and or
Okay,
atrophied.
because I was going to say, again, this is you at 9 years old, a broken child with an excellent vocabulary.
the broken man child
I know.
with the burgeoning beard.
Oh, the
My
zeit-
soul has atrophied.
oh, the zeitgeist, mother.
But what he did draw was tiny little withered baby legs.
So these aliens,
Well,
alleged aliens, have no... They have little tiny
Little
atrophied,
tiny stubby
but just legs.
little but,
Okay,
yeah,
alright.
just but
Weird.
way out of proportion. Here's the beautiful thing.
wait, how old was he?
He's 9.
9.
But he did
Okay.
do a really kind of amazing drawing of
Yeah, he
this.
did. Totally.
Okay.
And I've done, of course, my variation of it, but nothing can really beat the eyewitness source. So this
Right.
is where I get a lot of his deductions
Right.
based on what he actually put pencil to paper and drew.
Okay.
Totally.
Although their legs seemed unable to support them, their small, rounded bodies were perched on rotating metallic seats. We know they're rotating based on the descriptions he gave,
Okay.
which were connected to tubes and supported by wide bases. The bases, at least according to Jose's illustration, appeared to be supported by a plethora of small wheels or protuberances that swiveled or possibly allowed it to hover. So here's the thing. Based on, we'll get to it, how these things move, they're either able to hover or they've got multiple wheels that allow them to go in any sort of direction, like all-terrain, sweet ass.
Like the mega hover round.
Yeah. basically. So what we're essentially talking about
He's
is,
got like 16 wheels.
is a fucking
Yeah,
like
just a fucking.
a chrome bar stool from like a fucking hipster watering hole that has some sort of mechanism that allows it to travel on gravel, grass.
It's just just a
wherever.
360
Is it-
free
but it
roam.
Really
Yeah.
looks like a bar stool, basically.
Is this
Yeah.
is this often referred to as like a barstool alien? I think Matt Drew sent us this on Twitter.
Did he?
I think he did. Yeah.
It would make sense. I would absolutely, if somebody said barstool alien, I would
This would
think,
be it. Okay.
oh yeah, these
All right.
cycloptic aliens of Harrah, of course.
Hurrah!
Yep. I know. I want to go huzzah!
Yeah.
As if that weren't bizarre enough, these beings each had a pair of mushroom-capped antennas, hovering over a coarse patch of unkempt dark hair.
Unkempt.
So they got like shitty Beatles hair.
So sort of like my hair.
You've got sweet, well-coiffed lumberjack hair.
It's not though. It's messy and I'm balding in weird spots. But thank you.
No,
you broken man.
No, it's like a shitty patch of dark hair with these antennas sticking up that have just the classic mushroom cap top.
Okay.
They also had pig-like noses,
of course.
and perhaps most notably, a single, this is redundant, cycloptic eye wedged in the center of their spherical heads. So imagine
Super round
this.
heads.
Imagine this. A baby torso with tiny little, even sub-baby legs, like tiny little atrophied legs, a big round head with a pig nose, giant fucking eye, shitty mop of Ringo Starr hair, and fucking mushroom antennas. That's what we're basically talking about.
The most unfortunate. There's not really with alien encounters, alleged alien encounters. There's not ever really like a description of hair for any of them.
Not
except for like
often.
Nordics. 'Cause
I mean,
they have
Nordics
sweet
have
blonde
it,
metal hair.
and the aerial school aliens.
Yeah,
They had sweet
yeah.
Alice Cooper hair,
Yeah,
as Rob
hair's-
Christopherson
okay.
pointed out.
Not usually a thing.
Yeah.
No, hair is not
All right.
always seen, but occasionally seen. In this case, by a comb.
All right.
They also appeared to have tiny, stunted arms attached to their plump torsos. So little tiny, shitty, non-usable limbs attached to a round torso.
Well, maybe
with
usable.
A big round. Maybe.
Okay.
Maybe
All
they
right.
could do some fundamental things. I don't know. But they didn't seem to be using them in any way that Cantu saw. It is difficult to discern based on Jose's account whether or not he felt that these seats that the being sat on were artificial conveyances, like hyperfuturistic wheelchairs, say,
Yeah.
or part of their actual bodies, which it has sometimes been kind of alluded to, that maybe they were, I guess, essentially cybernetic life forms,
All right.
or that they were like Daleks in the sense that they were immobile, or Baron Harkonnen. Yeah.
It always
Nice.
goes back to Baron Harkonnen.
Respect to the dual Doctor Who / Dune reference.
Absolutely.
Excellent.
What is clear in his account, however, was the fact that Jose was alarmed by the bizarre features of these strange creatures. In an effort to avoid being seen by these unusual intruders, Jose ducked behind a broken washing machine that was discarded next to the shed in his backyard. It was then that young Jose's attention was caught by two, what he quoted as steely-looking crafts.
Steely Dan.
Steely Dan.
Was
I
it
know.
Steely Dan?
It might have been two Steely Dan roadies.
Do you guys listen to Steely Dan?
No.
Not really.
No. Okay, I don't either.
I know the name. I actually can't think of how they sound.
What is it?
Steve's a big fan. I
What,
think of
okay, but
Steely
what's
Dan.
what's a song?
Yeah,
I-
I mean, are they prog? Are they old school?
They're
Are
ish.
we
Why,
rock?
why are we kind of like whispering and being weird?
They're
Because I
ish.
think
I mean,
we're
we're-
uncomfortable.
we have no
we're uncomfortable with our
about
Steely
Steely
Dan
Dan.
knowledge
Yeah.
with
levels.
each other. Why is it being weird? Why, is
Well,
it, why does
because
Steely Dan make us weird?
I don't want our fans to judge us for
Okay.
not knowing Steely Fan.
All right, continue on.
Steely
Steely
Fan.
Fan.
I know.
Jesus Christ,
I
Robert.
don't know. Was that a punk rock band?
Yes, it
That'd
is.
be pretty cool.
God damn it.
Continue, Robert.
Steely Fan.
Oh,
Na,
my
na,
God.
na, 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 na. Steely Fan. Na, 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 na.
That's
Oi,
great.
oi, oi.
Oh,
yeah.
that's so
We're like
classic.
Dropkick Murphys now.
Yeah, basically.
All right.
Each of these steely-looking crafts harbored another little green pig-nosed cyclops. All right.
Oh,
So,
wait a minute.
There's
So you've got-
two steely-looking crafts. So basically,
Okay.
think of classic flying saucers. Let me finish here. The boy claimed that the first object was parked in his backyard while the other was perched on the flat section of the roof of his parents' home. So you got these two little
All
metal
right.
UFOs.
That works.
Each has an identical-looking cycloptic alien.
Right.
And then there's two other ones in his yard
Hey, just
fucking doing their shit.
doing, yeah.
Doing
Okay.
what
Cool.
Whatever
they
they
want to do.
Yes.
Jose described the vessels as emitting a brilliant light from the interior and having what he referred to as straight stairs, which most researchers assume was a child's way of describing a ramp. So that's
Okay,
so we're all like, what are fucking straight stairs? Well, it's a pretty easy assumption. Like, he wasn't sure what the word was. It's a fucking ramp.
He's 9.
He's 9.
You know, I like straight stair. I figure like a straight.
Well, yeah, I was thinking like straight, like a vertical
but still
stairs. Yeah.
I'm like, that makes
Well,
no
that's
sense.
stairs.
Yeah, but it's
no, but vertical.
Yeah,
so like it's
because you said
unwalkable.
straight
Oh,
stairs.
then that's a fucking ladder.
No,
So-
not straight stair. Like stairs are at a slant, right?
how do you
Just
climb?
imagine the stairs just
Yeah.
completely vertical. That's not a.
But
you couldn't climb those.
It's not a ladder.
They're not climbable.
Do you know what a ladder is? It's not a ladder.
Straight stairs.
Yeah.
Get with the program,
Yeah.
man.
I love the confidence. Straight stairs.
Yeah. No,
It's so
it would be
good.
very uncomfortable to climb
Yeah, you can't.
completely
It's sort of like
vertical
the fuck-
stairs.
As you're climbing, you're going backwards like this.
Oh,
until you're
it's one of
on
those
your-
fucking, what are those
No,
like
not
ship's
necessarily.
ladders that fucking assholes always throw into tree houses, or, you know, that they're literally on
Oh,
ships.
like a rope ladder?
Yeah, but they're
Okay,
like, they're
yeah.
stairs. They're inclined at like the steepest
I
angle.
love that you think that ladders are stairs. I think it's great.
You can't describe vertical fucking stairs without that being a ladder.
All right, so
Yeah, but not as easily climbable. They'd be much more
ladders-
difficult to climb.
Regardless,
ladders.
You know,
aside.
he's clearly talking about a fucking ramp.
All right, so there's
yeah.
a ramp. All right, that makes sense. All
All
right.
Okay.
Oh shit.
Jose further claimed that the access portals on the gleaming ships opened in 2 parts like a cross. So I just assume it's a hatch that opens in quads. Just opens up. In
Yeah, like
plus.
almost
yeah,
like a plus sign.
Yeah,
blue,
exactly, 100%.
yeah.
Because I'm
That's
not
what
gonna
I
lie,
Yep.
when you sent me the notes, I read that and I was like, "How is it like the cross?" And then it just opens.
No,
like
no,
how
like a
does it-
dune worm.
Yeah.
Oh, God. I like the
I'm
hand.
dying.
I like the hand
I
motion
know.
of a dune worm.
That was the
helps.
best hand puppet dune worm
That is
ever.
the best dune worm
Dune
I've
worm.
ever seen.
I know.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right, so it
pterodactyl.
opens up 2
Yeah.
parts. It opens
Oh,
with a cross.
puppet shows with Chris.
Yeah, I know you can't see them. It's too bad.
So after it opened up in the cross shape, it revealed an interior that was just big enough to contain 2 seats perched on tall bases. So what I think is
Like a
that
barber chair.
each, yeah, they are. They're like cross between bar stools and barber chairs.
Sort of, yeah.
That each ship contains 2. Each one has somebody that is Johnny Home Base and Billy Explorer.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
And
The Gatherer.
And what I think maybe it is that these conveyances that they have can go up the ramp through the cross door and like plug in, and that becomes their, you know, cockpit seat or whatever. I don't know.
Right.
We don't know how it works, but that's just the assumption I would make. From his concealed position, Jose watched as one of the creatures roving around the yard rolled its way up the ramp into the ship that was perched on the lawn. Moments after the hatch closed behind it, the craft ascended off the ground and vanished in what resembled to the child a puff of steam or smoke. So one's still on the roof, one alien is still in the yard.
Okay.
The second alien rolls up into the ship, goes up, and poof, it's out.
Flew.
So it's
All right.
either an exhaust and it shot off at such a high rate of speed that it couldn't be discerned, or it fucking teleported, or fuck all knows what. It was then that the youngster had seen enough. Anxiously, the boy crept back toward his house. Once inside, Jose wasted no time in running back into his parents' room, and this time, when he woke his mother, he refused to take no for an answer. Over the kitchen table, Jose regaled his mother with tales of strange, one-eyed, pig-snouted aliens and their vaporizing ships. When Martha went outside and saw no trace of the extraterrestrials or their diminutive vessels, she decided that Jose had either been the victim of a nightmare or was pulling some childish prank. Agitated, she sent her son off to school without another word.
Wow.
That's cold.
Yeah, dude.
Martha, that's cold.
That's cold.
Dude.
Cold-blooded.
That's the deal.
Yeah. Damn.
Cut the shit,
Yeah.
Jose.
I'm trying to sleep. Your sister was fussing up a storm last
Yeah,
night.
you saw some aliens with some
You're talking
sort of
about
like
bar stools
Yeah,
and
chair.
weensy appendages.
Sorry,
Weensy.
go to school.
Can the
Dude.
fucking theatrics and fucking
Theatrics.
get to the math.
Oh.
Fuck's sake.
This
we
is
need-
why Chris would make a perfect father.
Exactly.
We need-
yeah.
Can the theatrics and get to,
Get
the, math.
That's the important
I
part. is the
love
math.
We
that.
need a doctor in the family.
Yeah, and you're it.
You're gonna make us go to hell.
You're it. Wow. There you go.
Once he arrived at Harrah grade school, the excited Jose told classroom aide Diane Gomez about his bizarre encounter. Later, when local reporters contacted Gomez for a story about these odd events, she spoke highly of the student's character, stating, Jose is a serious boy. He is not one that tells stories or lies. What he told me, I took very seriously. High praise indeed.
That's a pretty good
Okay.
reference. I mean,
Yeah.
like, for
No,
a
when the
character
teacher's
reference
aide
for a
is like
9-year-old.
saying, he doesn't fuck around.
Yeah.
He's not in here talking
Yeah.
shit. He's not
Yeah.
causing a storm.
No, when
I
you're,
believe he's
when you're
legit.
9 and that's the reference you get, that's good.
Yeah, when you're up for that doctorate,
Yeah.
they have to review everything, and they get this account. They're like,
Nice.
They're going to be like, legit.
Jose's a solid ass dude.
that's exactly what they're gonna say.
Exactly.
In
Dude's solid.
He's a
fact,
solid ass dude.
he is solid ass dude.
When he was 9.
In fact, Diane Gomez took the story so seriously that just after 10 a.m., Jose's scheduled recess time, she and another aide decided to accompany the boy home and take a look at the alleged landing sites for themselves. The aides greeted Martha, and the trio followed Jose through the yard as he indicated where he saw the creatures.
So they took the kid out of school.
Well, yeah, but it was a different time.
It was 77.
Yeah, 77. You're a teacher's aide. You're going home.
You're like, hey, Jose, let's go check out these. If there's any alien stuff at your house, no one's going to care. Jump in my car. Not
Yeah,
a big
shit
deal.
was different.
Seatbelts aren't necessarily a thing then.
No, probably
Airbags
not.
didn't. You could probably smoke around kids.
You made kids
No, you
smoke
could-
with you.
you could.
Yeah. That's how it worked in
There were
77.
commercials for smoking.
Yo, you know, I sort of remember.
Candy cigarettes.
Oh,
all the rage.
Yeah. All
So
right.
Martha, the two teachers' aides, and Jose are getting the grand tour of the fucking backyard.
Awesome.
According to Martha and the aides' accounts, the place where Jose insisted that the men, quote unquote, were rotating on their bases still bore two circular marks embedded in the gravel. I assume that's the driveway.
Evidence.
Well,
It-
physical indicators, I
Okay.
guess, is better. Evidence is strong.
yeah.
The ladies also saw two seemingly inexplicable sets of indentations consisting of 3 holes each where the other being had apparently rested. Or his super sweet
Okay.
bar chair. After the aides returned to school with Jose, Martha called her neighbor, Irene Sanchez, and asked her to come over. When she arrived, Irene claimed that both she and her brother had spied a strange, spherical impression in the Cantu's yard that was approximately 10 feet in diameter.
Nosy neighbors.
Nosy. Martha and Irene examined the area and discovered that the uncut grass in the center of this circular pattern was swirled upward in a way no natural lawnmower could do.
No.
How do they know? How do they?
I know. The
How do they know
lawn
that the grass
door.
is swirled?
It's not possible.
I mean,
Well, I mean, you
how
can see
long
when
is the grass?
well, maybe they don't do a lot of lawn maintenance. I don't
Well,
know.
better cut your
Everyone's a
fucking lawn.
botanist. Way to go.
Yeah, no
there
shit.
you go.
Irene also testified to seeing the same marks that the aides had earlier observed in the gravel. The evidence was still clearly visible when Jose's father came home from work later that day.
Oh, he's not going to be happy with any of this.
Or maybe he'll be very happy. Who knows?
It's 1977. No father
No,
was
yeah,
happy.
working class dad is
Yeah,
not
no-
happy to come home.
Yeah, no. It's all a bunch of really negative, even more negative Al Bundys. Yeah, I used it.
Super Bundy.
Technically 90s, but whatever.
In a community as small as Harrah, it should come as no surprise that the word of the schoolboys' encounter spread like wildfire, and the next afternoon, the Cantu farmhouse was visited by a police officer named Willard J. Vogel, who hailed from the Yakima Indian Reserve. However, Vogel was not calling on the Cantus as a law officer, but as a well-respected local UFO investigator.
So real quick.
So the
Oh,
cops
wait a
rolling
minute,
up. You think
wait.
it's on. maybe official
Willard-
investigations.
Willard J. Vogel is there as he's a police officer,
He
but
is
he's
a
not
police
there
officer.
with the pretext of being a police officer.
Not
He's
in
there
his
being a
capacity
UFO. He
as
is
an officer of the law.
a officer of the law, a man
And
of justice, and a UFO investigator.
Amateur, though well-respected, independent investigator of the things that fly.
That's kind
So
of
wait a
cool.
minute. So so he is there not as a police officer.
Not as a cop.
Is what you're saying.
He
He's
doesn't have
there
his
as an
badge or
investigator.
gun.
He's not there in his official capacities. He's there in his unofficial capacities as the one-man Project Blue
ufologist.
Book
Okay.
in Yakima.
I want to think he has a really cool hat.
Oh, of course
He's
he does.
gotta have one.
Jesus,
What
how
kind of
could
hat?
he not?
What kind of hat?
I think it's got to be like one of those sweet fucking old school Stetsons with like one of those great turquoise inlay.
Yeah.
But he's like a UFO investigator, so does he incorporate that into his hat?
I'd like to think so.
Maybe something cool.
Oh my God, like
Like what?
Roswell Never Forget.
Something, yeah, like a sweet like little emblem or something.
Wouldn't it be great
Just
if
a
it
little
was
tiny
just like
one.
a saucer
A
and,
s-
bossed,
yeah, and the buckle
gilded?
was the
Yeah.
like a
Yeah,
saucer.
absolutely.
Nice. Awesome.
Fucking Vogel.
All
You
right,
know
man.
he
So,
rules.
so Willard J. Vogel is on the
Vogel.
scene.
Vogel, who was accompanied by fellow UFO researcher and electrical engineer David Ackers. That's a fun working class name,
David Ackers.
So he's a UFO researcher and an electrical engineer.
who was accompanying aforementioned lawman of the skies, fucking Vogel.
Apparently,
Yeah,
like,
so
UFO investigators have like really sweet day jobs because my day job fucking sucks.
Yeah. That's why you
So,
shouldn't have gotten into the
I mean,
cryptid
I
bit.
think out of-
You should have been in the fucking UFO.
Out of
biz.
all of us, the only one with a cool job is Chris. So, yeah,
I do love my job.
you do
Sure,
have an
you do
awesome
have a
job.
It's rare, but I
It
do.
is. All right.
It's
I can wear
wonderful.
Stetson when I'm not slinging
You
beer.
would look kind of dope in a Stetson. I'm not gonna
You know,
lie.
I've
It'd be
never
kinda
imagined
cool.
I'm
Chris-
here for the evidence.
Just
in a sweet cowboy hat, but he can pull it off.
What am I even saying? I can't even do it.
I don't even know
what
what that
accent
is.
am I trying to do? I know. Bring me your fucking evidence.
Oh my god!
oh Jesus!
I'm like 19th century
Yeah.
fucking tombstone.
yeah, you are. Yeah, you did. You went there. It's cool. All right.
Vogel.
I did.
Vogel, who was accompanied by fellow UFO researcher and electrical engineer David Ackers, stated that the Harrah area had been infested with UFO sightings over the past few decades, including reports of cattle mutilations, but had to admit that none of the cases were quite so strange as the one that faced him now. Nevertheless, he claimed to believe Jose's strange tale, and he even had the boy sketch the creature aforementioned, the
Right.
really awesome drawing he did, which is actually, it shows a lot of talent for a 9-year-old, I gotta
No,
say.
I mean the kid captured
It's impressive.
quite a lot. Yeah, totally.
So he had Jose draw the creature he had seen. He also stated that the perfectly formed circle and the traces of the foot, that's how he put it, quote unquote, traces of the foot of the alien were still very evident when he examined the scene. Ackers then checked the area with a Geiger counter, but no significant radiation readings were found. The pair also informed the Cantus that there had recently been reports of brilliant lights in the region just before Jose's weird run-in. So I don't know what that fucking means. Because when you say just before, was it 2 weeks before? Was it a month before? Was it literally hours before?
Right.
I feel like
It's
just
not been expounded
before.
on. Just before seems to indicate at least within days, I would think.
So,
But just
Yeah.
before you want to think like
Just
no,
before
somebody
hours, minutes,
yeah,
hours.
just down the street reported seeing a light and
maybe
boom.
days
Well,
at most for
yeah,
me.
that's what I would
we're talking
think.
about brilliant lights.
Brilliant.
So
yes, not
that's-
just dim lights,
Brilliant.
esoteric lights, brilliant lights. 2 days following Vogel's visit, Francis Story, a journalist with the local Toppenish Review. That's an odd word.
It is.
That sounds-
Toppenish.
that sounds-
Toppenish.
That's like a little tea cozy place in fucking Middle Britain.
Yeah, seriously, Toppenish.
Toppenish.
Yeah.
Stopped by to get the scoop. By this point, the trace evidence was beginning to fade, but was still obvious enough to be seen with the naked eye. I don't know what they mean. The spherical indentation, the gravel displacement,
The tracks in
Yeah.
the gravel. Yeah.
something. Knowing that the Cantu family was bilingual, though more comfortable with Spanish, the reporter was accompanied by a translator who considered himself to be a hardened skeptic regarding matters involving UFOs in general and ETs in particular.
He's a translator.
I think he's probably a photographer for the newspaper. I think he just is somebody that happens to speak Spanish that worked at the newspaper.
Yeah.
Hard-lined about his views
But he was
of
like,
ufology.
fuck that. UFOs are dumb. It's all meteors and dreams, and aliens are bullshit.
It's all swamp gas and
Garbology.
It's all St. Elmo's fires. Everyone calm down.
Listen, it's swamp gas and fuckery.
It's ball lightning.
Oh, the ball.
St. Elmo's fire.
Oh, you do it.
Oh, there it is.
The Cantus conceded to allow their son to be interviewed by the journalist, who later indicated that Jose answered all of the questions posed to him respectfully and honestly. I assume that they're just using their journalistic,
but again,
savvy.
To this kid's character, he has good references.
No, I know the teacher's aides. Like, no, he's legit. The reporter's like, he's legit. He answered the questions until he finally requested that he be allowed to go outside and play. Because after all, this motherfucker is 9.
See?
This poor kid is 9. He's like, listen, I saw these things. They scared me. They went
Yeah,
away.
he wants to go play outside.
I need some G.I. Joes and some sandbox
You know,
time.
like most people in interrogation, you're like, you want a soda? You want a cigarette?
Yeah,
you
what do you
want
want?
that cigarette,
Cup of
don't
coffee?
you? Yeah, maybe
Hey,
a
listen,
sub.
man, I know you didn't do it. Why don't you just tell me the truth about who did do it?
Yeah.
Did you do it?
You want a delicious 12-inch from Subway?
Oh.
I bet you do.
A
But you know what?
$5 foot long.
Yeah, you want $5 foot long, that weird teriyaki that nobody likes?
Are we being supported by Subway and no one knew?
No, we are
I don't
not
know.
being supported by Subway.
I like fake
Damn.
teriyaki shit.
It's disgusting.
I do too. Like that garbage sweet, like
Pineapple-y,
like beef
soy.
jerky.
If you-
Yeah.
if you keep
It is-
me-
it's soy and pineapple.
If I'm in a room
basically.
long
It
enough and you're
completely
like,
is.
there's like the promise of like beer, or like when I smoked like a cigarette.
Oh
like,
yeah, no, I
I'd be
fucking killed
breaking.
JFK.
Yeah, totally.
I was fucking.
Yeah.
I'm Kaiser Soze.
I am Rosemary's Baby.
Yeah, that's the
Fucking-
deal.
Archduke Ferdinand.
That's right.
Done.
I said
Yeah.
I am Rosemary's Baby.
Oh my god, you are Rosemary's
I
baby.
am totally.
Is
All
your
right.
mom Rosemary?
No, she's Carol.
She's a baby.
What up, Mom?
Hey, Carol. Hey.
Hey.
You don't listen.
Yeah, I know.
No,
she doesn't listen.
No, actually, she does.
Howdy.
You might for
Oh,
this
she
one.
does?
No, she really
I
does.
said, hey,
Does she
Carol.
really?
What's
Does she
up?
listen to all of
Yeah,
them?
no, she does.
Oh, hey.
I'm sorry I called you Rosemary. In fact,
Oy.
the once skeptical translator was so impressed by Jose's candor that he went on to assert on the record, and this is a quote, I believe he saw what he said he saw. The story that Jose related to said reporters, who were very impressed with his veracity, was published on January 26th, 1977, in the Topinish Review under the title Harrah Youth Reports UFO with Greenish Creatures. Honestly, a fairly subdued headline considering the batshit craziness of the actual descriptions. While many locals dismissed the case out of hand due to Jose's youth and the frankly outlandish description he gave of the aliens, those who actually spoke with the young man in the days following the incident were to the last convinced that, as bizarre as his tale was, it genuinely seemed to be the truth.
Well.
And so here we are left
All right.
with the
Oh.
Cycloptic aliens of Harrah.
So
One and done.
So, okay, well.
I just added the legitimacy of the subsequent events
yeah.
to just bolster Jose's tale.
Yeah.
So we did cover a story which is in the Yakima area.
Oh, that's interesting.
So Yakima, where the Yakima County where this happened, is about like an hour or so near Ellensburg, Washington,
Which is
was the home of Mel's Hole.
Mel's motherfucking hole.
So, but also too in the story there is I believe was it Willard J. Vogel mentioned that it had been a hotbed of UFO activity, so people were seeing UFOs in the area.
And definitely, I think it was Red Elk, which was, the name of one of the experts on Mel's Hole, I believe.
Yep.
I think I got it right.
Yeah,
he
Red Elk.
talked about UFOs being seen above Mel's Hole a lot.
Yep.
So here's, I guess, the first question we have to ask. First off, this is just, it's batshit crazy. The reason I think I mentioned, besides the fact that everyone involved went out of their way to mention that Jose was considered to be so reliable for someone so young, is because this is so fucking doofy. It's so goddamn silly that you want to just be like, yeah, it's a kid, and when he's not like watching Saturday morning Hanna-Barbera and eating too much sugary cereal, he's out fucking around playing in the back lots, and along the way he made up some dumb shit. So this does not seem to be the case. there were some trace landing things, but all that aside, when you bring up Mel's Hole, it makes me wonder: are they coming from above or below?
Hollow Earth,
or fucking the dimension from whence bulletproof fucking parrots and I don't know, fucking magic wolves.
Oh, I forgot about the invincible birds of paradise.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
I mean, and lest we forget tumor seals.
And tumor seals.
Oh yeah, with its
and dead
radio.
dogs.
Oh yeah.
So
that's right,
I mean, just
back.
because Harrah is approximately an hour away from Mel's Hole does not mean there's an association.
Well,
but damn, you gotta savor the possibility.
It seems to be that the whole area might. Well, there's also Bigfoot sightings at one point too.
Tons.
So it seems that the whole area might be a hotbed. But what is kind of interesting about it is that the description of this alien is not anything obviously that we've ever heard of.
Oh, unlike anything.
And with a great detail, a great attention to detail, I should say, whether it be the chairs or the atrophied vestigial limbs or their hair or their weird. So it's pretty specific for a 9-year-old. But as we mentioned in the story, this kid apparently has upstanding character. So he's either an excellent bullshit artist,
which is a possibility,
which could be,
a very legitimate possibility.
Kids are been known to do that.
Kids
or
are kids.
Quite possibly, he did really witness this. It just, for a description of an alien to sound like this, you know what's funny is I think of Angry Birds. That's what it sounds almost like, as Angry Birds.
Oh,
when
the
you
pigs.
got the little green pigs, yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if maybe. I mean, I don't know. They're green and they have pig noses.
Sort of base something off of, I think.
It's
possibly.
funny because if Angry Birds had been out or this sighting had happened recently, then you could say, "Oh, kids influenced by Angry Birds."
You never know what people pull from.
You never know. It's a struggle.
So I mean, I guess that. Okay, could we? I believe it was. I forget what episode of the podcast, but my children's book, "Whimsy of a Child."
Ha!
Right. So, could this be something that the kid's making up? Obviously,
absolutely,
it's always a possibility.
Sure.
But there is some evidence on site to show that there was some disturbances in the gravel, and then the super nosy neighbors were like, their grass is all whipped up into a fucking fedora.
Pompadours.
Pompadour.
Yeah.
Fedora.
Sweet
for some
lawn
reason.
fedora.
Fedora hat. Yeah, a pompadour.
But here's what strikes me as interesting, and this is what kind of impresses me about Cantu, besides the fact that so many adults were obviously also impressed with it, is that there's no obvious exploitable thing. He wasn't like, "Mom, I saw aliens. I'm really disturbed. I should stay home from school." He goes to school.
Right.
He tells everyone about it. Now, you think if a kid, you could be like, "Yeah, no, kids crave attention, and maybe it's just."
Or sometimes it could just be imagination.
But here's the other thing. It's like when he is the focus of all this attention, he's like, I really just want to go out and play.
Right.
I told you what I saw.
So
he doesn't change his story.
Right.
He doesn't elaborate.
He
doesn't add another UFO. He doesn't add like weird sheepdogs with fucking lizard tails and giant balls that were wanted. He doesn't just fucking go on and expand the story and make it more ridiculous with each retelling. He's like, this is what I saw. It scared me. I went inside.
Right.
It's gone. And he's probably not outside with, I don't know, like a hairbrush and a blow dryer, foofing the circular impressions in the lawn so it looks like they're semicircular, as Chris was saying, pompadours. Right. So what's impressive to me is that it's almost like he's got, as much integrity as he seems to display, the attention span of a child, where it's just like, I'm sort of done. I just want to move on, and sort of does. So it really kind of strikes me, as absurd as it is on its face, that this is just some crazy shit a kid saw. It scared him. He tried to tell his mom the first time. She didn't react. Told her a second time. Told other people. People were so impressed with what he fucking said that they converge on the scene. Reporters hit it, which is fine. Reporters are always going to hit something new, especially in this. We're talking. This is post Star Wars, in the thick of Close Encounters. Anything extraterrestrial, the media's on it.
Yeah, totally.
That's not impressive in and of itself. But the fact that a hardened skeptic comes away going, "Oh, this kid might be," at least gives me the impression that he's legitimately retelling what he saw. That's kind of cool.
Something else I was thinking about with being a kid, weird, vivid dreams, possibly.
It's a possibility.
Could be. I don't know have you guys ever experienced vivid dreams?
Lucid dreaming?
Yeah, it's weird.
No, I've had super vivid.
Sure.
I guess on melatonin, actually, I had really crazy dreams.
Yeah, I was a couple of years back. I was taking like Shantax to quit smoking, and the dreams were fucking bananas.
Yeah.
It was a bag of cats. It was fucking
Bag of
dude, it was
cats.
So crazy,
Fucked.
unwieldy,
very
soft and beautiful.
vivid. It was
Screaming in the darkness while they're mating.
It was so weird. It was the weirdest thing. So that is always a
So
possibility.
I'm pretty sure this kid wasn't on Chantix.
Or
no,
melatonin.
but I'm just saying that
Or melatonin.
or melatonin.
Melatonin.
Ate a bunch of turkey. I'm just saying that it is a possibility. This could be
turkey,
something that he dreamed and literally was just like, oh, you know. But all that aside, that's just the skeptical view of it. So if this was an alien that he saw and this thing is within like an hour of Mel's hole, I mean, plus there's Bigfoot everywhere. Bigfoot sightings abound.
Yeah, but Bigfoot, how does that even...
I'm just saying.
Yeah, well,
this
how does
place is
alien-
like
That doesn't play in.
this-
Yeah, you can't say
quite-
alien.
this
You don't
place
know
could
that
quite
either.
possibly be like a hotbed, kind of like the Ohio River Valley.
Oh, so, all right. So, yes. I understand what you're saying.
How-
but
Okay,
like
well, that
a vortice of mayhem.
I'm not even bringing interdimensional into this. I might be putting that on the
you're
shelf for a
about
little
to.
bit.
no,
I'm
but yeah,
not.
but
I'm not.
that's still different.
But here's the thing. Just because this is a place where Bigfoot sightings have happened traditionally, I don't think it makes this a hotbed for anything in particular, especially when you deal with UFO sightings. That can literally be as spontaneous as you want to be.
Well,
that
but
just
they
can
said
show
that
up
there
anywhere
was-
at any time.
That people were seeing activity, though.
Well, yeah, other UFOs.
Right. Yeah.
So
I'm saying it could be a
the fact that
hotbed.
bright lights in the sky, brilliant lights, precipitate a possible extraterrestrial encounter, to me, just sort of folds into each other.
Okay.
But that wouldn't,
All right.
it doesn't make me think like the Bridgewater Triangle or something, where it's just a cavalcade of mayhem.
Right.
yeah.
Right. Well, I'm just saying that there's some things happening here.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. A couple weird things.
One particular thing, which is these fucking weird little things.
Well, first of all, there's two apparent ships.
Yes.
Yeah, which is kind of weird.
One on the roof,
One on the roof
in the
and
backyard.
one on the fucking
Yeah.
ground, and like one's in the ship and the other one's the fucking scout.
Yeah.
Or whatever it is, the information gatherer.
Well, apparently, one each had somebody maintaining the consoles
that's what I mean.
or whatever.
Like one was on the
and
ship,
each one
Yeah,
had
they're
and one
like
had like a
navigators, yeah.
gatherer
Yeah,
or
totally.
out doing.
doing whatever they were doing.
Yeah.
I wish this is too where the handicap of having a child eyewitness comes in, because as legit as he apparently is, it's like we don't know. Are they taking the typical lawn and dirt samples that they so often are known for taking? Are they studying the architecture? Are they, what the fuck are they doing? We don't
Yeah.
know. We just know they're rolling around the lawn or floating above the lawn. We don't really
Yeah,
have a
it's
clear
kind of.
indicator.
But why are you on the? Why would you be on the roof? Why would you land on someone's
Roof.
shit? Like you know what I mean?
I mean,
Like
load-bearing walls aside, like if you land on someone, you could very well cave the roof in.
Unless you have like some sort of gravity oscillating
Right.
Wickerman.
no, but I don't like see like if you came in. Even if you were a life form and you were going to a place where you're like, okay, maybe you consider them lesser life forms.
Sure.
You'd still be like, if we just have to do this, let's just get in and out.
Well,
You wouldn't like.
Chris is right, but so many extraterrestrial or ostensibly extraterrestrial encounters betray the simple logic of we have a simple scientific expedition we have to do. Let's do this in full view of a dozen people, or let's do this in just the dumbest, least convenient way possible. Or conversely, let's go down and impart a super important message to the human race on an alcoholic farmhand that has, been in and out of jail and carries no weight whatsoever,
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean,
that's
what I'm saying is these things do not often have the hallmark of logic.
No, they almost never do.
Almost never. In fact, they fly in the face of logic. Not only do they not indulge in what we would consider basic, straightforward protocols in terms of getting your agenda done, but they seem to do the thing that will conversely, adversely affect what it is their fucking
Almost
mission
the
appears
worst,
to be.
Yeah, the worst possible
worst choices.
thing. Right. So if there's the theory that these aren't like aliens are just future us, and we're doing some sort of weird past recon, whatever, that doesn't make sense, because you're not going to want to fuck with the past if that actually is a thing, which we don't know yet. That we can affect.
Don't know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I can almost see it in the Greys, though, in the sense that the Greys could be where the human race might evolve in multiple millennia or hundreds of thousands of years or maybe millions of years, where we're super brains, our bodies are nearly useless, we eat dreams and bacteria, so we don't need anything but slit mouths.
Yeah,
and
that's
we're
the
coming
deal.
back to do the historical studies on what we used to be like, but also to refresh our genes with good old hardy, hard living, good time in humans, from
mortal
the past.
DNA.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Maybe that could make some sense. But these things, first off, I don't think we're going to get I don't think Darwin would support us giving up binocular vision. I don't know what the antennas do.
Yeah, that's funny.
These things seem to be truly extraterrestrial in the sense that, if not extraterrestrial, truly alien in the sense that.
Right.
They seem
it doesn't make
to
sense.
not be of here. We don't have we have cycloptic creatures?
No. One eye does not.
Doesn't make a lick of sense.
It doesn't work. No.
Not if you're a predator or prey.
No.
No. But it doesn't. It does. I guess it doesn't mean it couldn't have evolved that some.
Of course.
For some reason, on a random planet, and just there's something that happened in the beginnings of that RNA, DNA.
Right.
And
And they just needed one eye.
It didn't. It
Just
just
one
yeah.
giant
And
eye,
it's
yeah.
one
We don't
super
know that,
big fucking
but-
eye. I mean,
Yeah.
you know what? Chris, have you seen the picture of these things?
No.
Well, this
Yeah.
would probably help to get.
Oh,
to
it's
get
like a
an image.
massive fucking eye.
It's a massive fucking
Yeah, okay,
super
well-
cyclops eye.
Okay, so it's like Sauron is fucking like.
It's sort of
everyone
like
has a
that.
Sauron
And
eye.
here's the other thing: getting back to the presumably vestigial type limbs. It has two little feet-like things and two little arm-like things, but it seems like something that has evolved down to almost nothing. Like, are these things psychic? Are they controlling these super chairs and these ships with this massive intellect and telekinetic abilities that can
Yeah.
move things? And the only reason I'm saying it is because they are like little butter balls with absolutely seemingly useless limbs.
Yeah, well, that's the description seems to imply that.
Phenomenal olfactory senses, you'd assume, based on their giant pig noses.
Right.
Their mouths, you don't know what they're
Yeah,
doing.
that doesn't make sense.
The antennae,
But
maybe that
I don't know
ties in
where
with
they-
psychic abilities. The big giant eye, well,
Yeah, I don't
motherfuckers
think
need
that
to
would
see, but...
and yeah, antennae.
And yet, like, insects use it to communicate with each other.
They do, but
to feel things. What I mean, that has become such a trademark cliche in Martians and extraterrestrial bullshit. But what purpose does it really serve?
that is awful.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It is utterly outlandish.
that picture is fucking
The
awful.
hair is pretty terrible. Like it's
And honestly, I just
not
reinterpreted
your
what-
art, but
oh no,
it's even better.
But
right
here's the
there.
thing: it's got that kind of collar thing,
Yeah.
which makes me
Oh,
think,
man.
like, is it some way it psychically links to its chair or whatever?
I mean,
No.
Are they like fucking Daleks in that their bodies are so utterly effing useless that all they are is giant brain and a mound of flesh that melds with the technology
Could
they've
be.
built around them?
it could be. Yeah, it's like yeah. Unless those are the creatures running the simulation that we all live in, that very well could be it too.
Oh, so the Elon Musk supported simulation that we all live in.
Yes.
And
Jesus.
these are the overseers.
He goes on Joe Rogan, smokes a joint, and everybody freaks out. Doesn't even smoke a joint. He just takes a puff.
Oh,
and
Bill Clinton's a joint.
Stocks fucking collapse.
Yeah, like-
anyway.
Yeah, who fucking cares?
Yeah,
Anyway,
if I want anyone to smoke
Side note.
weed, it's Elon Musk. So anyway,
yeah. Maybe
so
get some
these things,
sweet new ideas.
yeah, the whole leg situation is sort of interesting because it makes you think like, well, at
Well, not
what
just
point,
appendages. I mean, he's got fucking
everything's-
T-Rex arms,
yeah,
T-Rex
everything's
legs.
interesting,
Not
but-
T-Rex legs, but like same thing
Right.
for his legs as his arms.
So the obvious,
So,
well, I mean, you know,
Orange and toothpicks.
Yeah,
He's an
yeah,
orange
really,
with two bags.
Yeah.
Pig nose,
Yeah,
big
seriously.
round head.
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense to me at all.
So do we think
Well,
that this,
biologically, it doesn't. I mean, this is not a super predator. This is not
No,
anything
not
that
at all.
seems
that's
to
what
be efficient to
Super
living in
predator.
an environment where you have to do shit to survive.
Yeah.
Not
Unless,
at
of
all.
course, you've mastered said environment with your superior intellect, your super sweet technology, what I like to believe are awesome fucking ESP telekinetic skills.
Yeah.
Well, sure, but there's no. They don't say
there's-
anything
there's
like
nothing
that.
there.
No,
for that,
I'm
yeah.
reading.
Yeah.
You have to read into all of this.
Right.
I know.
Because if you don't have, listen, they don't have little joysticks. They're not fucking Stephen Hawking their way around.
No, I know.
Right.
There's not.
So
they don't.
if they are self-mobile, then they have to be controlling it somehow. So it either has to be through, and you know, they have those like artificial limbs now that take direct nerve impulses. You know, you tell your left hand that you lost in a car accident or whatever, you want to squeeze something. It squeezes it because the nerve impulses are sent down to this artificial. We've seen all this shit.
Yeah.
Totally.
And I'm glad that these great progress are being made. Maybe they've taken it to the nth level, or possibly these things are just little meat tools that kind of like, I mean, maybe like the brains and the space brains of Palos Verdes, where the giant webbed-fingered, web-feet humanoids were like, oh, these are just translation devices. Maybe these are just like fleshy tools, like you know how the dinosaurs had a second brain in their fucking pelvis or whatever that made their tail flip, and it really didn't serve any great purposes. Maybe these are weird like flesh brains, and when they're not spending their time fucking shaving the carnitas of the skies, when they're not eating these things, because they're probably delicious. I mean, they got the pig nose. Who knows?
No.
They just use them to sort of do mild exploration and do their shit, and then they come back and make fucking flesh nuggets out of these fucking weird ass things. I don't know. Or they're super brilliant overlords that control their world with just a thought.
Right.
But they don't function well. They can't run. They can't do anything.
There's no evidence of that in anything.
There's no evidence of anything. But we have to wildly speculate for.
Well, I mean, that's like psychic ability. So it's not like they didn't do a thing and something happened.
No, but they move. They move with no apparent, like they're in the drawing. And I'll admit, it's a 9-year-old, and he drew a really incredible rendition of things that look like they're in barber chair / bar stools.
Yeah.
But you don't see. Like things that we would standardly associate with, say, automatic wheelchairs or whatever. You don't see joysticks or even touchpads. You don't see, and like I say, all I can assume is that if you don't see those things, then they are able to move through their own.
Well, or they're automated from something else. Or they're automated
from afar. But why would you automate useless hunks of flesh? I mean, these things have to serve some purpose.
They might be integrated into that machinery somehow that you don't know.
You're absolutely right.
There's just no way.
The wild fucking speculation that we have to indulge in.
Yeah, you don't know.
Or, again, my children's book available for pre-order on
God damn it.
Amazon, The Whimsy of a Child.
I wish it was.
I really do.
Robert, what do you think this is?
We can do it.
Are you kidding me?
What do you think it is?
I just fucking spent a half hour elucidating. No, honestly, I don't think Jose's making it up.
Okay.
I don't think he could have this many adults going, hot damn, this kid is onto something, if he was just pulling shit out of his ass. But we don't know. We don't know. There's no clear purpose for these things, no clear agenda. Why would you visit a random farmhouse in Washington? Are they from the illustrious hole of Mel that this is what happens if you throw a pig carcass and a wheelchair down there? I mean, I just don't know. And maybe it comes back even better, a better composite of anything you could hope for. I mean, if you throw down a sheep and get a fucking tumor seal, criminy knows what you get.
Yeah, it's true.
It's a gamble.
So there's no way to know.
The worst gamble.
And the fact that they're apparently flying standard UFOs doesn't necessarily mean they're from another planet.
Right.
It's so weird. What I love about this, though, is that it doesn't matter if like it's web-footed or little hairy things or typical grays or space brains or any number of aliens that we've discussed and will discuss and we're all fans of the stories of. These are strange because they have these non-usable limbs. They really do, and I know we do Dune a lot, but they are like Baron Harkonnens in that they're just too corpulent to seemingly move on their own, at least based on the tiny limbs they have. They have these giant heads, which might indicate a supreme intellect.
Could be.
Or just maybe, who knows what.
Right.
They have no clear-cut purpose, but they can clearly move in an intelligent way. They can evidently pilot these crafts, and they've come to Earth or upper Earth, if they're from inner Earth, for some reason. And it is absolutely fucking befuddling.
It
is befuddling.
Yeah, it is. There's a lot.
I'm perplexed because I just can't. I can't figure why a lot of extraterrestrials come here and do the fucking weird shit they do. The Casablanca entities are just clearly they're just a fuck with us. But this is just
it's a fireworks display.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to let the eyewitnesses' age play against them.
No, but you have to.
But you have to bring it up. So,
and we have.
It's a variable.
And we have, but and there is some evidence on the ground there that something was going on. But I think I might err on the side, and I don't want to be an ageist. Because I'm not.
I see where you're going.
I'm going there.
You're hating him.
No, not at all. I think he is a kid of good character.
I'll tell you what.
You think it's the providence of youth?
Oh.
I think it might be a possible. I want to say overactive imagination and or like some sort of like lucid dreaming, but I can't commit to it 100% because there is some physical evidence there on the ground.
And not one of us has gotten the kind of resume this kid has gotten from
this
adults.
Kid is we are all older, middle-aged men, and this is
the only one
in 77. This kid's stand-up.
Okay, the only problem with that is like I came back, I'm like, dude, like I saw a pink, like leopard. Unicorn horse creature.
Whoa, okay.
Like if I just love this already.
If I just came to you and
I
was
want
like,
to draw that immediately.
Dude, I saw this pink unicorn man horse.
Oh, nice.
The unicheetah.
And I'm like, no, seriously,
really.
like
Centaur
this
unicheetah.
happened.
Right.
Like, and you guys know me, right? So the people that are investigating this come to you guys and be like, no, dude, he's legit. He's the thing. He's the deal.
I see where Chris is
right?
going with
And then he goes to the place I work and he's like, what do you think of this guy? And he's like,
right.
No, he's straight up. He's the deal.
Right.
I mean, and this goes for every...
Yeah, for anyone that's ever met Chris, they're gonna be like, no, he's just totally normal, stand-up, solid dude.
Right, and the same thing, like, if you came to me and like, dude, like, I saw the deal.
Yeah.
Like, I saw the poltergeist of poltergeists. It was a fucking thing. And it got investigated. I'd be like, dude, no, Dad, just the deal.
Like Threistergeist.
Right.
I see that.
But here,
it could be. But very well could be.
I'm just throwing that there. I'm not.
Chris is right. But the one skeptic was the exhausted mom. Like, I didn't see anything in the lawn. I didn't notice the gravel overturned. I didn't get
but
the
she's also an
pompadour.
exhausted mom.
Yeah, she's exhausted. Taking a break. Like,
get
to school. Go to school.
The translator. The translator is like. Who's a hardcore skeptic and a translator.
That's what he claimed.
Was like, no, this kid's solid. He's not,
And two different aides were like, no, he's a pretty legit
Which almost makes me...
And he's telling this is their lunch break or whatever.
Right.
And instead of just saying, hit the recess, make the swing yours, have some fun, kid, and they tell a fun story amongst themselves in the fucking teacher's lounge, they're like, I'm compelled enough by what he's saying that I'm going to use this time to go to your home and see what's up.
Yeah.
That to me is really kind of impressive.
Or it
not
almost,
mind-bogglingly so, but just all right, that's something.
Or it's something that yes, he did see it because he was in some lucid dreaming state, possibly, which doesn't explain.
But is lucid dreaming any more absurd? I mean, I get it. What he saw is absurd.
Right.
The fact that they would be there doing these things, but this is the kind of reductive reasoning that so many skeptics / debunkers employ. Like, well, it could be this because it's irrational if it's the other.
It is called the could have argument.
Yeah, and that to me, all right, you're better than that, Mark.
You know what?
God damn it, you're better than that.
I am.
No, but it's just an option.
It is an option.
We're putting it out there. That's all we're doing.
It's still as valid as anything else.
Totally.
The problem is we don't. Well, there's multi-problems.
It's a problem when you say, "Oh, it can't be that."
Right.
Then that's a problem.
Of course.
Yeah. Totally.
Then there's a problem.
But the biggest problems with the credibility are well, twofold. One, the sheer absurdity of their appearance. It is an amalgamation of doofy shit that you would assume come from the mind of a child. Which, by the way, opens up the possibility, as was discussed a little bit by Ted Blocher in his assessment of the Casablanca incident, where he said this reflects a parapsychological element of UFO sightings, which is is something appearing to a child in a way that would seem less utterly horrifying or more accessible. As bizarre as a pig-nosed, cycloptic, tiny-armed, rotund, bushy-haired thing would be, maybe it is a much more acceptable image than the toothy mawed living Lovecraftian nightmare that it actually looked like.
Right.
And if this thing isn't evil but knows that we are a backward sort of species that definitely assesses threat based on physical appearance, as Rod Serling constantly admonished us not to do, then maybe it implanted a thought in this kid's head that is patently absurd.
You know,
that's a hypothesis.
It is, and that's all it is.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah. All right, so I think that we've put a lot of different theories on the table.
Not really. It is or it isn't.
No, I mean we have
no. There's levels.
There's a bunch of different things.
There's a level.
A lot of possibilities
I know
here.
what you mean by is or isn't, but like,
right.
If it isn't, then it just isn't. Right, but if it is, then there's
it could be various
a lot of
but
different things that it could
I think we've given our good listeners plenty of theories to work with here.
Oh yeah, they got a little bit of mind bubble gum to chew on.
Yeah, totally. So
it's a rod.
You know what?
It is a
very
rod.
well could be a rod. I'm gonna say definitely not a demon for this one.
No,
I like to go demon a lot, but it's my bag. But I'm gonna say no demon.
But it could be.
Well,
you don't know what
you're
happened.
not wrong.
You don't know what happened a few days ago.
Right.
When Mama Jose.
Right.
I don't know the last name.
Martha
Martha
Cantu.
When Martha Cantu was like, you know what? Let the crops be sweet.
Right.
She's doing a Ouija.
Let the crops be
sweet.
Yeah, let the crops
whatever.
grow. Yeah.
Oh, you know, it's true. If
Jose pays a price,
if there
you
were
don't
some
know.
Wicker Man
it's true.
type shit
You
where
don't
you have to
know.
make. There was even that old David Niven movie where he was like a fucking vineyard owner,
Niven.
and every so often when the crops don't do well and the grapes sour on the vine, they have to make a sacrifice. It was kind of like
That's
a dark
the fucking
post-Hammer black comedy. But the point is this: a lot of people do think every UFO sighting is demonic.
Right.
There are angelic figures that come from the skies,
totally,
and there are demonic figures that hail from below but come to us from above. And I don't necessarily support that. I think it's a very simple black and white view. I'm not saying that it's not a possibility, but if you do believe that, then you could easily think that this is something messing with the heads of maybe this kid was destined to be a saint someday, or Pope fucking Jose the First. Who knows?
Yeah, sure.
And they're trying to do things to make him look foolish, to not be believed.
Yeah, it's the deal.
I mean, if we found out, in I don't know if we researched it, which of course we did not before the podcast, that he's Monsignor Cantu of the Yakima Diocese.
Yeah, totally.
I mean, it could be like, maybe they were trying to fuck him from word go.
Right.
That's what I mean.
But that's way out there. I don't tend to think extraterrestrials are demons.
No.
Just because there's so many other fascinating things. Like Mark wants to say other dimensions, the bowels of Mel's Hole, outer space, other planets. That's the standard one. It's a little iffy. Time travelers. But to think they're all from hell seems a bit convenient and paranoid.
Right.
Which is not to say a few of them aren't from there. And be cautious.
That's right.
So
Watch
you don't know.
This is just a fucking weird story.
Yeah,
it's so weird.
There's a lot. There's a lot.
Quite a bit there. So I think we're all.
I think we nailed it.
Yeah,
No,
totally,
we know.
Totally.
I think we've really rounded it up pretty good.
As always, I think we're going to put it out there to our good listeners to let us know what you think this is. And obviously, if you have any stories to tie into this, by all means, feel free to shoot us that information, links, and whatnot. So, thank you for joining us.
Absolutely.
No problem, Dave.
For the Kryptonite Podcast. Be sure to follow us in the social medias, the Twitters, the Instagrams, the Facebooks. Be sure to rate and review this podcast on the iTunes and the Apple's podcast apps.
Do it 1 or 4 or 5.
Or 5.
Yeah.
Let us know.
Exactly.
5's good.
Totally. And be sure to stick around if you want to hear us read some reviews from you good listeners.
After the outro?
After the outro music, there's going to be some reviews.
So there's going to be us ending, and then wonderful music by Chris.
Yes.
And then
You're
reviews.
welcome.
And then reviews.
You're welcome.
You really do wonderful work, Chris.
Excellent. Thank you, Chris.
And thank you
Dave
again,
for the
Addie.
reviews.
The whiskey in no way affected our performance.
Yeah, thanks, Addie.
No, Mark
Mark
didn't fumble that like 30 seconds ago.
I didn't fumble it, and this is exactly what I said was going to happen. So,
whiskey.
Thank you for joining us for the Kryptonite Podcast, and we'll be talking to you soon.
Oh my
God, you did a finger and a thing.
I know you did. That was you cheddar carnied us out.
I did. Yeah, I did.
God bless you.
See you. All right. right, it's time for reviews.
I'm so excited.
We have this whole new format where we're going to be doing reviews at the end of the show because we've been inundated with reviews.
Thank the baby.
Which is a good thing.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So keep them reviews coming. Also, too, if you've left us a review and we haven't read it, feel free to email us and we can fix that for you. So let's get...
and just for the record, it's Mark's fault because he's the one that really monitors all this.
Yeah, I do. And
I hate to throw you
get
under the
lost.
bus, but
it's okay. You can throw me, buddy.
Yeah.
There are tire tracks on my back for a reason.
Honest to criminy,
Ooh.
I really do love reading these reviews.
Yeah,
too.
totally.
It just what a fucking way to spruce up your day.
This is coming from the iTunes and Apple Podcast apps. Love these guys. 5-star review from Mark Calliope.
Ooh, that's a fun name.
Oh, yeah, totally. In a tie for the top 2 of my favorite podcasts now, despite being new to the cryptid world, and just can't stop listening to the fun banter, making me feel like I have new friends. Found them on Spotify while looking for spooky happenings to listen to and adore it so much I just had to log in to leave a review.
Well, hot damn.
Now, okay,
Thank you.
Mark
Log
here
in
found
away.
us on Spotify,
Right.
and then he logged into iTunes to leave a review.
Yeah.
So that's, you know what?
That's commendable.
That's like taking the extra effort to
Yeah.
like say thank you guys.
Totally.
Thank you, Mark.
All right, Mark, thank you. Excellent. Rob, you got something from Facebook
Oh,
for
I
us?
sure as the dickens do. This is from Stacy Schmidt. This is also 5 stars. I give this podcast 10 out of 5 stars.
Oh my God.
Because math don't fucking matter.
That's double
right.
the best.
Bless your heart, Stacy.
Double the
Because it
best.
is so exceptional. The hosts are delightful. Oh.
Delightful.
Oh my God.
Aw, thank you.
I don't know if
I've
that
never-
adjective has
yeah.
ever been applied to me in my life. You just made my day. The topics are fascinating, and you feel like you're hanging out with 3 of your friends.
Nice.
No matter how bad of a day I'm having, this podcast never fails to bring a smile to my face. With its awesome hosts, hilarious banter, and fun subjects, it is sure to brighten your day. I can't say enough good things about it. Do yourself a favor and give it a listen. You'll be glad you did. Well, I'm glad I read this damn review.
All right. Well,
Thank you,
Stacey
Stacey Schmidt.
That's awesome.
Me too.
That was
Excellent.
wonderful.
Cool. All right, moving on here with quickly becoming a fave, 5 stars from Ed. Oh man, I can't
Ed
say.
Rock?
Ed Rock.
No,
I know.
Ed
Yeah,
Rock,
yeah,
yeah.
It's a
right.
Beastie Boy.
Adnima 3142-9.
Oh.
I like that.
Oh, no.
You could be an alien.
Miracles.
never
Are you
know.
an AI?
Here we go.
Mathematical.
I love the obscure topics. These guys are hilarious and clever, and the quality is top notch. I also love Rob's voice. It's like smooth, velvety gravy for my ears, and I would listen to him read the phone book.
Oh, my God.
All right, well, we're going to do that.
That
Yeah.
was the sweetest.
It's
Yeah,
a surprise
there you go.
spoiled. Go
Velvet
ahead.
gravy?
Velvet gravy.
I'm just mad at myself for never having said that before. Those are 2 of my favorite tangible things. First off, gravy in the mouth, velvet on the hands. Thank you.
All right, there it is. All right, next one, Robert.
Oh, this comes to us from Timothy Hafner Puff. No numerical, but
Go, yeah.
we're just going to go on.
I'm
with this.
in.
Great podcast about some of the lesser known weirdness from around the world. Came here from the Astonishing Legends podcast after they discussed some of Rob's artwork.
Awesome.
Thank you again, Astonishing Legends.
Also, too, for
and Rob Christofferson,
our strange
who, by
guys.
the way, I'm dropping a little bit of future knowledge here. He regaled me and Mark with a sighting he had that I'm going to be turning into a full-fledged article soon, and very likely to be a podcast. Maybe we can even tie in an interview. Maybe this would be a great chance for a crossover. Enough of that. We'll worry about that at a later date.
Oh.
Great topics that are well researched, and I enjoy that there is a skeptical eye to some of these stories. The running time for each episode fits in perfectly with my morning commute. Sorry, the drive home is for Slayer.
Yeah.
No fucking shit it is.
well,
there you go.
Absolutely it is. That's the
Really?
only way to go home.
I mean, I think
shit.
I listened to Slayer to and from work. It's either Slayer, Napalm
Yeah.
Death, Cannibal Corpse, or Morbid
Misfits.
Angel. Obviously,
I feel like,
Misfits,
though,
but-
like the drive there, you would need the Slayer to get yourself.
Self-pumped up. But maybe he works in a field where
That's true.
it's like you don't want to get too slayified on the way there. Like maybe that's what you need to come home.
Right. No, I think this week was on the way to work was all Cannibal Corpse. This week,
Jesus.
this coming week, it was going to be all Sam Hain.
Do you have theme weeks?
No, I kind of do. Yeah,
Yeah, you
I kind
do.
of got my
Why-
own
why
thing.
would you even deny it?
There's a reason though.
I kind of got my own thing. I'm like, oh, this week's gonna be all cannibal, and next it's gonna be all Sam Hain.
So you just get all excited about your own.
I know.
You're your own programming director, and you get worked up. Do you do little promos in your head for yourself? And next week, all Sam Hain all the time.
Stay tuned, me. next week.
Coming up next, he who cannot be named.
Oh my God!
There
And
you
just
go.
to end this up, Timothy wraps it up with "Keep up the great work!" exclamation point. And God damn it, Timothy, we're going to do our darndest.
We're gonna try.
All right.
We're gonna try.
What do you got, Mark?
Continuing on here with the perfect podcast.
Oh.
5 stars.
Well, duh.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Perfect. Yeah.
From Bricked G. June. I usually listen on Spotify, but I installed Apple Podcast just so I could leave a review.
Oh,
I'm a huge fan of cryptids and have even tried and failed to launch my own monster zine. I've stumbled upon so many podcasts that seem promising, but I lose my interest almost immediately. These guys are entertaining, informed, and have an honest love for this subject. I am now all caught up with every episode, and they have renewed my passion in the unknown and inspired me to have another go at my zine, 5 interdimensional stars.
Damn.
oh snap! First off, that's a shout out to Mark with Interdimensional.
Yeah, totally. Completely
Secondly, give me the name again.
Bricked G. June.
Okay, I'm not going to attempt to say it. What I will say is I would be glad to contribute some artwork to your premiere episode and maybe even a little article because I'm all about supporting the zines. I've loved from punk rock zines, horror film zines.
Yeah,
I've never seen a
those.
cryptid zine or a paranormal zine.
No.
I think it's fascinating. So if I can help you out by throwing you a few things to throw in a couple pages, I would be glad to. And thank you for that sweet ass review.
Yes,
And I'm glad you're starting that up again because it's tough if you're doing a project.
Yeah,
you know
totally.
what I mean?
Yeah.
And it just doesn't.
It doesn't pan out.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
tough.
we've
So-
been over. I've almost started a zine
No,
4,500 times.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
The amount of projects that fucking lay unfinished in the detritus of my office.
Like however you're gonna launch this zine or whatever you're gonna get into, shoot us some information. Just because we want to check it out. If there's any way
Yeah,
that
of
we can
course.
like support it or like promote it.
Sure.
If you got a Kickstarter or a GoFundMe or just whatever, just hit us up and we
And
definitely
like I
want to know
say, I
about
mean,
it.
I'm a destitute bastard, but I will contribute some of my shit if I can.
Totally.
And now we have a review from Jeff Caldwell. He claims to be, and I'm going to quote directly now, I'm a podcast fanatic, but Kryptonaut is always one of the highlights of my week. Focusing on the more obscure encounters, these 3 dudes never fail to make me laugh until I wet my depends. It takes courage to admit that.
Oh, depends.
Bless your heart. Incontinence is nothing to wear. It is not a mark of shame. It is not a scarlet letter.
No.
It is a fact of life.
Yeah.
It is.
And I know you're joking, but still, good on
Yeah.
you. This, with more deep dive nerd references than you can shake a shaping staff at. Oh, welcome to the club,
Masters
sir.
of the Universe. What up?
Make sure you check out the website for the sweet artwork of the Mighty Morphe Power Robert. Oh,
Nice.
I get that.
Mighty Morphe Power
Oh,
Robert.
it's a big fan.
That's
of
a new
Sentai's.
variation of that though.
It's a what?
That's a new variation of that.
No, it absolutely is.
Yeah.
You know, I thank God sometimes that I left like public schooling. Well, I guess Mighty Morphin Power Rangers was a thing, but it wasn't a universal thing.
Right.
And because if that had happened when I was in middle school, I think it would have made my life almost unbearable. But I love your planned words. Also, 5 stars, 10 skulls, A++, the ultimate review.
That is the best scale
I love that
ever.
because
Yeah.
you get the numbers, you get
Yeah,
the skulls, you
totally.
get the letter grades, and the
Skulls.
skulls, of course, remind me of Chaz Balin. May he rest in peace,
There you
and Gore Score. God bless him. Thank you so much, Jeff Caldwell.
All right, we got here from Tim R. This is actually from Facebook, but he sent to me as a message. 5 stars. I would give it 2,112 stars.
Wow.
I get it.
If you want creepy comedy, this is the place to be. When I'm alone at work, this podcast makes me feel like I'm with people talking. Thanks for all the information on the stories and laughs. I'd love to have a good beer with you guys and have a conversation about mythological beasts. So yeah,
Yeah.
I mean beer and beasts.
beer
I'm
and
there.
beasts.
Yeah,
That's our
totally,
thing.
Beer and
totally.
dragon horses.
So what?
Oh my God, dragon horses.
2,121 stars seems to be some sort of code.
It's a Rush album.
Okay, I I'm not a big Rush fan, so I don't know these things.
Yeah, that's the deal.
Okay, just seeing.
And now you
just
do.
Seeing
So
if you got
clearly
it.
he's a Rush fan.
All right, well, good, cool. Rush
Yeah,
is.
you don't just throw that number out. You just don't throw out 2112.
Just there you go, 2112. So was there anything else from Facebook, or was that it? I think that was it. Right?
I think that's it.
Okay,
I think we
cool.
maxed the Maxitron.
We're gonna end our first new
postscript.
Our new postscript with a good old sandbagging.
Oh,
Who's ready?
Oh, we got
Oh
sandbag.
my God, this is
Who's ready for a sandbag?
Oh, I never am. I'm a gentle soul who's
Dude,
very
we get
sensitive.
soap bars in the socks. And then
Oh, I know.
Ready?
We're gonna get whip beat.
Code Red.
Doubtful.
Ooh, that's the name of the person.
The title of the
That's the
review?
title of the review is Doubtful.
Oh, you know what? I would have preferred dubious, but
Ready?
I'm not here to judge the judge. So
here
whatever.
we go. 1 star.
Oh,
GeForce 757575.
all right.
Okay.
Well, easy to remember.
Okay. Good cartoon too, right? Okay. I am new to
Gotcha
your...
Man was better.
Okay, here we go.
Just has to say.
Everybody,
All right.
I am new to your show, but I have gone through 10 of your shows. I love the shows about UFOs and paranormal and anything scary. You guys pick some good topics, but you guys keep making jokes and fooling around during the whole podcast when it's supposed to be a scary show, ruining the whole podcast and becoming very annoying. One example, Annabelle the Doll. I do like a couple of jokes and laughs, but not throughout the whole show.
Wow. You know what? Big Lou ruined it for someone. Finally.
I'm going to say this.
No, go ahead.
So, having the fortitude
Yeah.
to go through 10
episodes.
10.
to then leave the 1-star review.
Yeah.
What-
You got to give this guy, he's got
Mad points.
he's got-
Yeah.
that's respectable.
Because you know what, people that listen to like half an episode find they don't like it and then like rail against you. That's some beat shit.
10 episodes of not
Motherfucker
liking
goes
us, and he
through
was
10
like,
episodes.
yeah.
And you know what? Likes our shit. Maybe misunderstands our intentions a little.
Yeah, because we're
which,
not
which
a
by the way is
scary
fine.
show. That's okay,
We aren't.
That's
but that's okay.
My only thing, there's a preconceived notion. Like, you listen to 10 of our shows, you should know what we
Yeah,
do
nothing's changing
at that point.
at all. Like this is the
no,
format that we do.
didn't miss the boat that one time.
yeah.
yeah, right.
That's
yeah.
not like all of a sudden, no, this
But
is what
I
we do.
respect his right to have
Yeah,
that opinion.
absolutely.
You know, there's a lot of people that think that animation is all for children, and then there's Japan and everyone else
In the
that
world,
is
yeah.
like, well, you know, it could be. You know, it's not the same for everybody. And you know what? I will say exactly what Mark said. The fact that you took 10 episodes of your life,
Dude.
You at least did your goddamn homework
That's
to decide
true.
that we are not your boat. And
Right.
you know what? I hope.
But just
I hope you
imagine
find
the
the ride that you
disappointment
like.
at like episode 6.
Yeah.
Where he's like, it's going to get better.
Yeah, they're gonna get scary
This
now.
is going to work. And then he gets to episode 6 and he's like,
scared.
fuck.
I really feel like
they just don't shut up.
I really feel like after episode 1, you know.
You should have known,
Yeah.
kind of, yeah.
So-
I'm not holding it against him, but yeah.
No, I'm not at all. But let's say this right now. We're not a scary podcast.
Oh, no.
Yeah, no.
In case
Not
you
at
had that idea.
Yeah, if you got to the end of this episode and all the way to the end of these reviews, we're telling you now because you have been on a journey.
Oh, yeah.
A journey that not many
Yes.
people have taken or want to take. If you're this far and you're thinking that we're scary, it's not what we do.
Yeah.
But
No, literally, sometimes we start digging deep.
Oh,
after,
sure. Oh, totally,
After
yeah.
We love it.
a
and
bunch
take
of
it ser-
alcohol.
We
Yeah.
take it seriously.
Yeah. So you'll have moments that's like probably 10, 15 minutes
there's
where
some
we
shit
really
that-
start digging. But
Is freaky, undeniably. But
absolutely.
yeah, no, our intention is not to be like turn out the like one of those old school like radio plays from the 1930s, like Inner Sanctum.
back to the podcast.
the Kryptonite podcast.
Morph, read the review.
Oh.
Mark, where can you find us
Thanks.
on the social media?
All right. I don't even know. Is that like a bad
don't know what the
ghost
fuck was
meets
that.
bad
Yeah, whatever. It's
Carla?
fucked up.
I would-
Anyway,
I would love to do like an old timey creep fest though for like maybe a Halloween episode.
Oh,
thank you, GeForce 757575 for sitting through 2
Absolutely.
possibly unbearable episodes,
Yes.
or 10. I'm sorry,
Oh, yeah,
10
10.
episodes.
No, you know we're sorry
you.
it doesn't. But try this out. If you've gone through 10 and you don't revile us, I know it's a 1-star. I know you want something different. But if maybe you can find a podcast out there that hits the scare buttons you need, maybe you can come back to us and say, you know what?
Right.
Maybe I just want some buddies that are just gonna have a good time and try to tell us a good story.
I mean, if he went far enough as to leave to listen to 10 episodes, leave a 1-star review, I don't think he's going to be coming back.
You know what? You're seeing it the wrong way. I think
it's okay,
but maybe not.
I think it's hope.
Okay.
I think the fact that he listened to 10 means he sensed potential in us,
well,
and he
took
left
the
us
time.
the 1-star review because he's thinking this will be the one that changes their ways.
All right,
they're going to get on straight there. And you know what? I love the faith that I think you have in us, even if you don't. Do.
All right.
You don't, but do.
There you have it. And
thank you, everybody.
We'll be talking to you.
Martha and Irene. Oh, jeez. That was too dramatic.
No, was it?
Martha.
It's because you're talking about fucking Fiddler on the
and
Roof.
Irene.
Continuing on.
Do it like that.
Martha. When Martha and Irene.
Why would you say Martha?
That's why I laughed when he said Martha. I'm like, oh my God, Martha.
Who's Martha?
Wait a minute, Clark. Wait a minute.
What, Bruce?
Did you say Martha? I feel like you said Martha.
I said Martha.
Is your mom's name Martha?
Yes. What's yours?
No, I'm being Batman. You can't be Batman and me and Batman.
Everyone wants to be fucking Batman.
I was doing Batman.
I was doing Batman.
Okay, so I'm like,
that's why I said Clark. Wait a minute. Did you just say? You're like,
oh shit!
Yeah, I did. I'm like, we can't be.
both be Batman.